When you are looking for a stylist, sometimes, Instagram, it's really hard because in general, people usually want to connect with people that they feel that could relate to them or that maybe have a similar body type. But I find that the most beautiful relationships that you encounter and create are actually with people that are much different than you. And that's something to keep in mind too with somebody that is a different size than you, that is a stylist. I do have to say that it is different working with the stylist of a different size and body or the way they look compared to following somebody on Instagram that is just sharing their own personal style that doesn't help people shop because they only know how to relate to and help people that have a similar body type, which that is a totally different thing. So when I'm sharing this, I want to share about how I work with clients from size 0 to plus size. And this could be for both men and women because I work with both. And honestly, even my clients that live here in Seattle, Washington area, I'm working with them online. There are so many clients that maybe I saw a few years ago in person, and now we're primarily working through Zoom and through the app I use to share suggestions. And we're constantly catching up, taking notes there. But my clients are all different sizes. And this topic came up this week because I just got back from Orlando 2 weeks ago. It feels like much less, but so much has happened in the past 2 weeks. But 5 days last week, Monday through Friday, all my clients were on Zoom. I literally had Zoom meetings every single day back to back, and that was it. And I realized in the span of 5 days how different every single client I was working with. I'm just gonna give you a few examples. I worked with a client who has a skin condition and he cannot wear clothing that is fitted, although something super fitted would look, quote unquote, better or more flattering on him. He needs things that skim his body more, are softer fabrics. So he needed help finding a style that was good for his body, yet still looked put together and not sloppy with his skin condition that he has. And so that meant buying bigger sizes. I had another client who he really enjoys wearing all black. And he did want to step out and try something new, but he didn't know how to integrate darker colors, how to integrate other textures, how to create more variety in his look. So what I had to do was show him and explain to him different things that could fit his body and still give him that vibe of the darker elements that he wanted in the hues and his personal style. And the dark clothing does come from his body type. He is a 2XL, and so having those darker pieces makes him feel more comfortable, but he knows that he is ready to step out of it a little bit. And so I was there to guide him. I also worked with a client the other week where her body, she has such a straight figure and she wanted pieces that really helped her feel more feminine. And with clients that have a straight body, it doesn't matter what size they are. They could be 2XL or a 0. It's interesting that finding those features that make them feel more feminine, but they have more of a rectangle figure is really important to them. And they want to find ways to integrate them to their style. So that just goes to show, those are three completely different stories, three completely different clients, all different sizes that I work with. And because I'm just so well versed in the different brands and I am out there trying things on with clients in person and when I work with clients in Zoom, there is that session where we try things on and I can see how pieces are fitting them. I have a good range of knowledge of how to work with clients through different body issues that they have with themselves, personal issues like the guy that had the issue with his skin where he can't wear fitted clothing. I come across a lot of tiny little details that really go into what personal style is. And it's a whole other podcast that I could do about body type, but body type is really such a small part of what personal style entails. With every single person, there is little pieces of who they are, what they feel good about, what they don't, what they question, that really goes into developing their style. And on top of that, it is knowing about their life and what they're doing. So when I'm working with a new client, some of the questions I ask in the beginning aren't completely related about style. It's more trying to get to know them. What is their day-to-day life like? What are they doing? What goals do they have? What are they working on? Like all these other things that really go into developing a personal style. So, going back to how I help clients of all different sizes, there are a few tips that I like to share with people when I work with them. So, let's get into it. Number one, wear the damn dress. We get so caught up in our own head, in our own loop of what feels good. And sometimes what feels good isn't necessarily the thing that we want for ourselves. So I think that's something really important to keep in mind. A lot of what people end up wearing for years is that they found something that worked, they got really comfortable in it, and then when they start feeling like they're bored of it, or it's dated, or their body has changed, or something has happened, it's really hard for them to shift out of it because they have been so stuck in being like, no, this is me, this is how I dress, this is where I buy my clothes, this is the style I wear a t-shirt and jeans and boots, and that's it. What else am I going to add? When there is so much more. And when it comes to dressing for your body, we also have this part of us that gets stuck, that thinking that we can't wear something else outside of what we know because it won't be flattering. So this thing about wearing the damn dress actually came from a friend of mine that I met at the dinner series. She did a whole Instagram post. She made a story about this, and many women resonated with this. Many women just felt like, yeah, sometimes you have to just get over yourself and wear the damn dress. And she's used to wearing things that just kind of flow on her body, but for the dinner series, she ended up buying this beautiful Good American. It was more like a beigey color, which means beige is going to like pop. It's not black or anything. So it was like a beigey colored dress by Good American, a lot of ruching to it, very fitted bodycon dress. And it's not something that she normally wears. And again, just because you don't normally wear something doesn't mean it doesn't work for you. But she kept trying to tell herself that this isn't her kind of dress, that people were going to judge her, that she wouldn't feel good in it. Yet, at the same time, there was a part of her that was curious about wearing this dress because it made her feel sexy. Interestingly enough, although it was more fitted and different than what she normally wore, it made her feel sexy. And you know what ended up happening? She finally got over herself and she said, I'm going to wear the damn dress. She wore it to the event. Everybody loved it. She felt like she literally stepped into another part of her personality, another part of her confidence that she would not have experienced had she not gone through putting that dress on and wearing it. So it just goes to show, yes, sometimes there are things that are not quote unquote comfortable, but those are the little pushes that we need to try something new. And sometimes we just gotta get over ourselves, over how big we think our butt is, or our thighs are, or our boobs are, or whatever it is that we're kind of insecure about, or find that we struggle wearing, and just wear it and see how we feel in it. Number two, when we work together, I am an honest friend. I've had clients, yes, of course, I am a stylist. We are working together in a professional setting, but it does feel more like an honest friend coming along with you and coaching you through it. Because when I'm working with clients, you have your money on the line, I have my reputation on the line. I'm not going to have you buy pieces that, one, I don't think that you're actually going to grab and wear. Number two, that don't look good on you, because then when somebody compliments you or says something about you and you're like, oh yeah, Tannya dressed me, that doesn't look good on me. So I am there to be that third person, that third eye, as you are trying to make decisions on what to wear. It does take a skill for you on your own to really develop following your intuition in trying new things and figuring out what fits you right and what doesn't. But in the beginning, as we are working together, it is a lot of my guidance that is kind of taking you on this journey of figuring out what works for you. Because sometimes you have a broader picture of what you want for yourself and you don't know the little intricate parts to it. So as your stylist, I take note on all of that as I help you make decisions on what to buy and what to wear. And when I work with clients, it's not just about shopping. People don't come to me to say, you know what, I just need two new outfits. No, we are actually going to build a good foundation to your wardrobe that we will work with and that you can continually build on. And of course, I do the shopping trips. Like people come to me for events, but again, it's all about the same process, really getting to know you, what feels good, helping find those right pieces to share with you that will help you step into what your goals are, how you want to look and feel. So again, as we're going through the process, I am honest with you. I let you know what, maybe this is too big of a leap. Are you actually going to take that out of your closet and wear it? Because if you're not, let's put that money towards something else. I'm also able to guide you if you have a budget. I want to make sure everything you buy really mixes and matches well. Everything we purchase together when we're shopping at any point is super intentional. So I'm there to kind of, if you're somebody that is like buying things and it's really easy for you to be like, yeah, I like this, I like this, I get really strict. I'm like, okay, we already got this and this. We already got like the blue top and the blazer. Let's not get any more blue, even though it's working for you. Let's look at something different. Let's look at another color, another piece that could really integrate with these looks and continue adding that depth that you need to your personal style. Number three, I really am an advocate for dressing for your body where it is right now and where you are in your life right now and what you want for yourself in the future. Because saying, you know what, I'm going to lose 20 pounds and I have to wait to invest in myself later because this isn't going to work for me long term. But you don't want to think long term when it comes to your clothing. You continually change with time. Your life is going to change with time. After an initial session with clients, I do have to say, if we work together longer term, up to 2 years or more, your style is slowly going to develop and grow because you start feeling so comfortable in these new pieces that you end up wanting to push yourself a little bit more. Try more new things. Where in the beginning, depending on where you're at, usually it's a bit more safe, but you need to dress for your body now and know that yes, your style is going to change anyways. So why not dress for where you're at now? And then when you do lose the weight, then buy something different. Then buy a new pair of jeans. By the time you lose weight, you're going to feel differently about your body too. So what you're wearing right now isn't going to work anyways all the time. Some of the things do. So again, I do work with a lot of people that are in transition of possibly losing weight. So I always do take into consideration realistically, like, are you working with a trainer? Are you actually on a diet right now that is going to help with this? Are you working with another professional? Because if you're not and you're doing it on your own, not to like crush any dreams, but it usually doesn't happen. I've been doing this 15 years and I hear all the time. And clients end up coming to me and they're like, you know what? I'm really glad that we bought those pieces when we did, because I did end up feeling so good in my body that, you know what? Maybe I didn't care as much about losing weight, or I did lose a few pounds, but it wasn't enough to really change my size enough. Maybe the clothing fit differently, but it didn't change my size enough that I needed new pieces anyway. So it ended up working out. So just remember, dress for your body where it is now. Of course, think about the future and the goals that you have, but be realistic with yourself. I don't want you to wait to feel good, feel confident, and be able to accomplish other things that you want for yourself. Number four, don't expect everything to fit off the rack. So if you have been struggling to shop because you feel like nothing fits right, let me just tell you, there is this magical person you can find, and this magical person is all over the place. There are various people you can go to for alterations, and they do such a great job. Especially for men, not everything is supposed to fit you off the rack. Men, as you know, if you're a man listening to this or a woman that is with a man, you know that men also have different body types. They have long arms, shorter arms, long legs, torso, like the whole thing. We're all humans. So when you are shopping and you find something you like that has an overall good fit, you could get things altered. The most common alterations for both men and women tend to be bringing up the sleeves to their shirts, to their jackets. That's a huge one. bringing up the hem of a shirt, especially for men. If you like to wear your shirt untucked, you want it to be at mid level of your zipper of where your zipper is on your pants. You don't want it to be too long because then it looks like you're drowning. You don't want it to be too short because then you lift your arms and then you see your belly. Um, Other alterations, pants, getting those altered. I know with men especially, they get so picky of like, oh, well, I'm a 30 by 30, so I need to get the 30 inseam. But you don't necessarily need to do it. If you find a pant and you don't feel like ordering it, or they don't have it, or sometimes men are in between. Maybe you aren't an even number and that's all that they have in the inseam. The alteration makes a huge difference. So don't forget that pieces can be altered. Two other alterations that people don't necessarily know about is if you get a blouse, or for men, if you get a button down shirt, you can bring in the waist. You can bring in the sides if it looks like there is too much fabric. If you have more of a defined waist, you can do that. As long as there's no box pleats in the back or pleats of any kind, the shirt can be altered. It's magical. Another one is both for men and women. For men that have bigger butts, bigger thighs, and then smaller waist, usually it's men that lift a lot of weights when I work with them, you can bring in the waist to your pants. Just make sure it fits really well around the thighs and butt area. For women too, if you have more of a defined waist and more hips, a lot of times you find that there's that gap in the back of your pant, and that is an easy alteration that you can get done. So remember, not everything needs to fit off the rack. You can find a good fit and then get the alterations you need. It's going to save you so much time because all of our bodies are different. You can't expect brands to get everything right for all the different parts of our bodies that are just different. Those are just a few tips, and also how I work with my clients. In the end, when you are working with the stylist, you want somebody that is well versed in working with different types of clients. The majority of stylists, that is our job, is that we need to learn about what works for people and what doesn't. We do need to know about different body types. We do work with different personalities. So just to let you know, I don't have like one type of person I work with, and my personal style is so much different than my clients. I do dress up a lot more. For me, fashion is an art. So yes, I dress more quote unquote practically with like my kids on the weekend, but I still like to dress up. And not all my clients do, and that's okay. I have to say, I probably do specialize in that business casual work environment because I am in Seattle, Washington, and now with, what happened with COVID, a lot of people are working from home, so people want that like sweet spot of not too dressy, not too casual. And I would say that's probably like the majority of my clients need that. They want comfort. And since we are talking about body type and brands, I should probably do a whole podcast episode about this. Let me know if this is something you want to hear about. But I thought I would share with you a few of my own favorite brands for both men and women. This is more for just petite and plus size because both petite men and petite women and plus size men and plus size women have a hard time finding brands that really work for them. So in this past week, even, these are brands that I actually purchased and helped my clients purchase for their wardrobe. So two petite brands for women that I absolutely love are Abercrombie and J. Crew. Abercrombie has really fashion forward pieces that are fun, and their clothing fits really well if you're petite. So Abercrombie's a good one. J. Crew is great classic pieces, and they've had petite for a long time. So they're a great go-to of classics. For more inclusive brands for women, Good American, I did mention it earlier in the episode, but Good American, their pants and their jeans fit so well. And if you are more fashion forward, they have bodysuits and blazers, all the things, like all the great basics that you need for your wardrobe. Another brand is Venus. They are more for clients that want something fun. I know with more inclusive brands, it feels like, especially for women's wear, it either feels like very dowdy or like really boring. So Venus is a place where you can find some fun tops that you can integrate for Zoom, for going out, Clients love Venus. With men's brands, two of my favorites that are more slim brands for petite men are Theory and Boss. Boss has like such beautifully made pieces, but it is a certain body type. And Theory too. Both of them are great basics, great elevated pieces. When it comes to menswear, investing more is key just because men tend to wear a lot of the same things over and over again and don't like to replenish as quickly as women. So getting really good key pieces is important, and that means investing. Some size inclusive brands for men. Bonobos has all the things. It has like classic, athletic, it has regular, it has slim. So Bonobos is a great resource for people when they're starting out if they need some inclusive brands. And Johnston and Murphy, they have, oh, I love Johnston and Murphy. They used to have a store in Bellevue and they just closed it. I used to take men there all the time. Preferably, I really enjoy their shirts, their jackets, and their shoes. And Johnston and Murphy makes things that are comfortable and just fit well. If you're listening to this and you have felt like it has been on your heart to get your wardrobe up to date and you have just kept putting it to the side, or you're like, you know what, I'm going to keep trying to do this on my own, but you finally came to a point where you're realizing that doing it on your own is, one, you're wasting your time because your time is precious and you're really busy and you're like, well, why am I trying to do this? And number two, you just continually spend money on things that you think are going to work and you get really excited and then it doesn't. It's time to book a 20-minute discovery call. So let's talk about what your style goals are, what you're struggling with, and come up with a plan together. It's totally free, 20 minutes. You can go to myclosetedit.com. That's myclosetedit.com. And there are multiple buttons on that homepage and testimonials that you can read if you need that inspiration to get started working together. But in that 20-minute call, we'll talk about what you really need to bring together your wardrobe. And my team is here to support you. We do this every day, all the time. So I hope to meet you soon. I would really enjoy working with you. I think that working together is going to give you the results that you want this year. Thank you for spending time with me today, and continue building a life and a style that truly reflect you. I'll catch you next time.